Okay, welcome to the this live on the Twin Flame journey, and we have launched an incredible conversation in the Esoteric Book Club, Starseeds Awakening, on this journey, and the concept of suffering came up as a badge of honor. And I'm just going to preface this, and then I'm going to go right into the DM's inability to open his throat chakra. Yes, we're going to talk about the masculine and his responsibility. Silence is not golden. Silence sometimes is silence. Now, silence is good when you're in union, and there's healing to be done, and telepathic communication of vibrational energy that are so intense that words cannot express a deep level of bonding and that both twins have for each other. Okay, silence is good for that. Okay, sometimes women talk too much. I'll be the first one to say it, and coming from me, who talks too much. Okay, so, but the concept of suffering, and it's something that needs to be discussed. And I've been saying this for years: be enough unto yourself. Be enough unto yourself. Don't want the nookie in this incarnation. Don't care about having the nookie in this incarnation. What's the nookie? The big O. I'm just going to be blunt. Some of you are belaboring the fact that you've never been made well, you've never had an experience of being made love to very well or mind-blowingly well. And you bemoan it as something that needs to happen in this incarnation. I can understand the disappointment, don't get me wrong, because then you'll hear other women having these extraordinary experiences, and you're saying, why am I not getting that? And I'm going to say one word: because you have work to do on your inability to be enough unto yourself. I'm actually not joking, okay? Many of us have had pockets to be enough unto yourself. I'm actually not joking, okay? Many of us have had pockets of dark night of the soul, not anything like the separation of a twin. So, but, stay with me here, where you've had pockets of dark night of the soul. Some of us started these dark pockets, dark night of the soul, because we're starseeds. We miss home. We feel like we're fish out of water, like holding your breath underwater for an eternity. And you're a child. Many of us started our first dark night of the soul and wanting to get the fuck out of here when we were 6 or 8 years old. That's it. Bottom line. Okay? And so we had to work on ourselves to stay grounded in these incarnations. We earned the ability to then get the nectar. Many were so deeply asleep and ignorant. This is not a bad word in this particular case. And ignorant and what the work they needed to do, that they never have done it. So when they meet their twin, the massive fucking triggering, everything's like, imagine a switchboard and all the fucking lights are going on. That's intense shit. That's like intense. And suddenly you realize that you're in a situation that you've accepted and tolerated. Toleration. I hate that word, tolerate. Why tolerate mediocrity? And so I'm going to say that. But what's extraordinary about many of us that have been on this, journey of the twin flame journey, is that we got to a place where we said, I need to figure out how to be enough unto myself. That's it. I can't hand the keys to my heart chakra, the entire fucking, and expect my happiness, and to give my happiness and my peace, two different concepts of being, of consciousness, to another human being. I don't care if it's my twin. I don't care if it's my sibling, my parents, my what. You get to that place, and when you get to that place, you reach a place of contentment. Okay, contentment, meaning content in your state. And you are alone, but you are not alone. You don't feel alone because you have the vibration of your light beings. And many of you will scoff at me. You'll say, fuck that, I want it now. And at that point, you sound like a little kid that wants Christmas in July. That's it. Now, today, I did call out some of my twin flame masculines, because you need to stop being fucking silent, okay? Like, use your throat chakra for more than, doing a Yahoo, okay? Like, use your throat chakra or text or do a voice note to your beloved to say to them why you're feeling blocked about loving them or loving yourself. Tell them if you've been essayed. It's not a fucking guessing game, okay? You don't have to be embarrassed that something tragic happened to you in your childhood. It's something you don't kick under the bed. It's something you don't put in the attic. You straight out, you look in the mirror and sob if you have to, saying, I was essayed as a child, or this and that happened. My father or my mother were abusive to me. My mother hated my dad and started using me as a punching bag. And I started having problems with the feminine, because the most important feminine was my mother, and she kicked me around like a dog because she couldn't do it to my father who was MIA, who had betrayed her. Whatever your situation is, whatever I didn't actually add to the fucking laundry list of trauma as a masculine child, fucking tell her. Tell him if you're gay. Say something, for fucking Christ's sake. Say something. Have the balls to say something. Be a man. Be a fucking man and stand in your darkness and let her know. Because if she truly is your twin flame, she will never shame you for it. Never. She will sob with you. She will hold your heart in her hand until it feels strong enough to stand on its own two legs. What the fuck is your silence about? Why aren't you being honest? This stoicism that is taught, the art of war, Sun Tzu. Do you really want a war again? Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius. He was an emperor. He was a warrior emperor, and he was trying to be a philosopher. He wanted to create a new world, you fucking idiots. It's not something to celebrate. The Spartans were people who needed to survive. For fucking sake. You need to become shamans in a world that's filled with peace. We don't need any more warriors. We need shamans. And shamans are in touch with their emotions. Shamans have courage and honor and integrity. Shamans speak their truth even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if it triggers you. Shamans laugh at their beloveds or their sometimes teasingly to push her to grow. Sometimes shaman holds sacred space and give her and envelop her in a place that contains her energies so that she feels safe to lose her shit. And your silence isn't doing shit for nothing on this planet. Your silence is an act of cowardliness. You're not being raw enough with your beloved. No one's asking you to go public with this shit. Be raw with your beloved. Be raw in front of the mirror. Fucking say something. And you're not. You're trying to figure yourself out. You want to fucking find out who the fuck you are. Well, how are you going to fucking do that? Go to Bali? Get high? Get triggered? Do some yoga? A retreat of silence? Why don't you journal? Why don't you talk? Why don't you literally do a video of yourself talking to yourself and doing a video about how you feel and then watch it as a compassionate witness to what you went through? Be fucking honest. There are sacred masculines right now that are being raw as fuck. And they've been raw. And they've explained in detail, in raw, ugly, disgusting, beautiful details, how they were essayed, how they went into addiction, why they were fucking freely having, loving sex with anyone, love the one you're with kind of shit. I admire those men. It was messy. And they shared their journey as the journey was happening. But I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to do that with your beloved, privately. And you're fucking not. You're still playing games. You're still trying to figure out why you can't breathe without your twin. And so then you start doing things that are, is self-sabotaging. And you're complicating something that could be so easy. Do you love me? Yes. I love you too. Let's do it. What do you mean? Let's live together. Let's have a life together. Let's build a life together. Let's figure out. We'll have fights. Okay. We'll figure it out. No, but you complicate things like, I don't know, maybe we should wait another year to move in. Maybe we should, you actually think you've got 80 years on this planet. You actually think you have 50 years on this planet or 45 years. There's an arrogance. It's almost like, what are you, 3 years old in consciousness? You think you're going to be immortal? I mean, you are immortal, but not in this experience, not in this incarnation where your name is Larry, Daniel, Bobby, do you know what I mean? Jim? Jimbo? Where the fuck are your heads? Don't you understand that as long as you're not radically, brutally honest with yourself, you're never going to be happy in yourself? And you know that if she dies, okay, or if you are gay and he dies, okay, because that happens. Because sometimes the pain of the twin being ran away from is so unfucking matched that they either harm themselves or the universe says, the guardians say, let's get them out of here. It's too much for them. They can't do this. They have mercy. They'll take them home. And then you're left with the baggage of the fact that you didn't say shit when you should have, and that person is now no longer on this planet, and now you go into the next phase of your bullshit, which is beating yourself up, creating massive shame, massive self-loathing, self-destruction. You die with this incredible karmic loop. Meanwhile, your twin's on the other side, not rising. And you incarnate back into 3D with amnesia. Or maybe, if you're lucky, with a little more information. Hopefully. I hope. It's like one of the best things my twin ever said, which he quoted from Carlos Castaneda constantly, is make death your advisor and fear your ally. Best fucking sentence I ever heard in my entire life. It changed my fucking trajectory. At least on some aspect, even though I was a runner, then he was a runner, and then finally we joined path together. But at some point, he understood that in this incarnation, there were some aspects of him that had the balls to win. Another great example was my father. He figured, how can you fuck this shit up? I mean, who gives a fuck? I just watched the movie The Professor with, forgot the actor's name. Anyway, Johnny Depp. And suddenly he gets he's got 6 months to live. He's got lung cancer. By the way, lung cancer, cancer of the lung, anything with the lung, asthma, whatever pain is grief. This is kind of agreed upon in the spiritual community. And Louise Hay first mapped the body, the pain body messages. She was one of the first ones who mapped it back in the early 70s, to give her credit. So he has lung cancer, 6 months to live, and suddenly he doesn't give a fuck what mistakes, what proprieties. He doesn't give. He's got 6 months to live. So now he lives with a ferocity, a joy. I don't give a fuck. I can't fuck this up. How can I fuck this up? I can't. And we love these movies, and then we don't do shit about it. Quite often, changes are uncomfortable. There are things personally that I have to do all over again, meaning there are things I have to leave behind and go on to my next adventure. And it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy. And I'm looking forward to it. Why? Because it's pushing me to grow. So I'm not just telling you this out of my ass. I'm telling you to grow the fuck up and grow some balls and get very, very passionate about this incarnation. About this incarnation of the 8 million lifetimes. If the Vedas are correct, then we've had 8.8 million lifetimes, right? Make this one the most incredibly intense, incarnation. Like an absolute tableau, a work of art that's like, I don't know, the size of the Empire State Building. A beautiful painting that says a whole odyssey of your journey, and all of it was done with passion. And it takes courage, and it takes understanding that you have unconditional trust with the universe and with your higher self. And that there's no really wrong. The only wrong path is you harming people. That's it. And I mean harming people, manipulating people, destroying human beings and animals and the planet. But aside from that, if you walk in your light, you shouldn't be worried about that if you're a good person. So that's really what this is about, this journey. And to me, it's very, very bizarre that people will watch these movies, read these books, and do absolutely nothing. They still continue with these fucking jobs. They still continue. And it destroys them. It completely destroys their soul. Meaning, when I say you can't destroy a soul, let me reword this because that was not correct. But there's something that is banged up and bruised up and caged up. And all of this is harmed by the false ego, the monkey mind that's afraid of anything, everything. It's afraid of everything. And it's a parasitical energy. I keep saying that again and again. So the masculine, I love how people throw around divine masculine. Let me break it down to you as to what I feel as a divine masculine. A divine masculine fucking knows he's got some problems, and he's going through the process of self-realization and accountability. He's saying, and then he says to himself, this came from my mother, this came from my father, this came from a sibling, this came from a teacher, this came from a past life, and some of it isn't mine, and I need to transmute this energy. Some of it is mine. I've brought it from one incarnation to another. And then you'll ask me, well, how do I find out? I don't know, dude. Meditate every day, every fucking day. Be responsible. Okay, no one's handing you the keys to the fucking Lamborghini, okay, of your incarnation. Okay, no one's handing you the keys to the fucking Lamborghini, okay, of your incarnation just like that. And the work is not a suffering situation. Are you going to feel massive depression sometimes? Yes, because you might not even know which door to open first. It's just open a door. Just one door. You don't have to put this in a linear, I want to get all my ducks in a row. Fuck that. Ducks don't stay in a row for very long. If you've ever seen ducks swim. So this, all my ducks, and no, don't, just messy. Walk down the hallway of your consciousness and open any fucking door. I don't care if it's the 30th door and there's 90 more doors to open. Fucking open a door. Start in the middle. Start towards the end. Let me put it this way. If you've never read the end of the book before you commit to starting the book from beginning, I don't know what to say to you. Because if you're that hell-bent on these linear rules, then you don't know how healing works, because it doesn't happen linearly. It doesn't. So sometimes, yeah, you're like, let me read the end of the book to see if I really want to commit to this shit. And boom, you're like, oh my God, yeah, let me find out why that happened. If you've never done that, I find that interesting. My question would be, why? Why not? So anyway, I don't know what to say. Do you guys have anything to say about this energy that I'm sharing with you? Any comments at all? No? Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to go because I just wanted to share that with you. And hopefully this will wake up some people to, that's how the DM feels away from their DF. That's how the DM feels away from. I'm sorry, if you could rewrite that sentence, that'd be okay. That'd be good for me, because right now I can't understand what exactly you mean. Let me see what else. Hey, Mama Yeti, thank you for being here. Let me see. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. That's all I needed to say. I mean, basically, it's like if you're masculine and you're not saying shit, if you're part of groups and you're not saying shit, you're constantly silent, you're not fucking speaking your truth, you're just there as a witness. It is getting old for the divine feminine. And those women that I'm talking about who are divine feminines because they are looking at their shit, they're hashing it out, they're figuring it out, they're being very responsible, they are realizing their shadows and their toxic traits. They're sitting with that shit, and it's not pretty. Okay? And I don't want to share my journey, because I'm not here to fucking prove to you my journey on a public forum with trolls. It's not my scene. I don't do that. And I won't do that no matter what. So eventually I will share that in the Patreon privately, because I figure if somebody actually wants to invest in hearing my journey, then first of all, it protects me and my private incarnation with my beautiful twin, but it also shows me that there's people are really wanting to invest in finding out, well, how does that work? How does she know this? In fact, how does she know all this shit? And does she know all this shit? Is she full of shit? Things like that, which is a good, you want to judge, and you should judge me. You should judge me and other people who talk about this journey. Absolutely judge me. Oh, I don't like it that she yells. Well, then I'm not for you. Bye. It's that simple. I don't like that she's so angry. Well, if you confuse passion with anger, please leave. I'm not for you. I'm not here to bend myself to a pretzel for you to accept me as a viable twin that's gone through this journey, who coaches people all over the world and has for quite a long time. My oldest client, who's been on the twin flame journey, has been with me for 6 years. And she's finally, unfortunately, because they're not going to make it together in this incarnation. It's never over, okay, until someone drops their body, and the relationship continues, of course, transform. But it doesn't look like they're going to make it at all, because the masculine twin isn't fucking laying it out. And the masculine twin will run to easy bimbos. I'm just going to say it, fuck it. I don't call them karmics, because I don't like that term at all, because it's unfair. Oh, he's married to his karmic. No, he's not married to his karmic. Because, see, you and your twin are karmics as well. That's why you're twin flames. So, let's, what he's married to is a lesson that he hasn't earned and learned, because he hasn't learned it. And it could be a high-level soulmate, which means it's your soulmate too. It could be just a basic soulmate. It could be a neighboring soul tribe member from another soul village that has said, I haven't learned this. I haven't learned this either. Okay, let's get married. I'm going to be that third, I'm going to be the person who, quote unquote, prevents you from being with your twin. Yeah, quote unquote, okay? And I'm going to learn shit from you. And you know what? We're going to pop out a kid. We're just going to pop out a kid. And that's really going to complicate shit. And that's going to make sure that you either play 1880s games. Oh, I can't divorce her. We have a kid. Or like, why would you have a kid with a woman you don't really love? Why would you? What kind of soul do you think you're attracting to you if you actually have a kid with someone you really actually, bottom line, don't really love? What's interesting about twins is we'll love our high-level soulmate and we'll love our twin. But we love our high-level soulmate. And so we have a kid with that high-level soulmate, we're going to have a good kid. A good soul is going to come through. A soul, and what is a good soul? A soul that's going to be awakened. A soul that is a starseed. A soul that wants to remember and does remember. A soul that is going to be very much involved in mentoring you, as a child, and you mentoring them, yes, as a parent, as a mentor. That's why and you mentoring them, yes, as a parent, as a mentor. That's why some people have children and they feel absolutely no connection with their kids, none. And they wonder why. To play small, to tolerate, to marry someone that looks good on paper, to run from your twin and marry someone that makes you feel comfortable, not because you have a real connection with them, but because they're not demanding shit. Because you're uncomfortable in your shadows. Because your twin's very presence demands that you come from a highest level of your best self, and you can't do it because you're filled with shame, self-loathing, and self-sabotage, and addictions. And that is something that many masculines have a problem with. Do we have feminines that do that? Yes. Yes, we do. But when we incarnate as twins, and when we incarnate, in some cases, as opposite genders, we play out some fucking vicious karmic loops. And we've been given the opportunity quite often not to incarnate with our twin, to have these looping, same sabotaging fucking patterns with soulmates and just souls that have the same issues. And so what I don't understand is, why isn't an urgency for the masculine to step in? Because my friend, my brother here, you are not a divine masculine until you can be absolutely radically honest with yourself and your twin, your counterpart. You're not a divine masculine at all. You're a guy with a lot of shit who can't speak your truth, and you're not doing shit about it. You're making excuses. You're actually taking all kinds of distractions. You're going hiking every day. You're watching video games all day long. You're doing porn and lying about it. You're maybe flirting with the fucking barista over there with the nose ring, and you're having fantasies about her, and then you're having quotas with your twin, and putting a barrier of a third person as you're fantasizing on this girl, using your twin as a doll and as a rubber doll, and then you wonder why your feminine twin fucking loses her shit and calls you out on it, knowing damn well, telepathically, energetically, knowing what you're doing. Seriously. You hear about the telepathy of twins. You hear about this incredible bond. You hear about twin flame universe, for example, the biggest hustle I've ever seen perpetrated on internationally. And you've seen how this is a magnet to weak souls who think, yes, I'm going to repeat it, who think they're twins. Because real twins aren't that, naive. I'll use that word. I want to use a much more violent word, but we'll use the word naive. Anyone that comes out of the twin flame universe camp, I don't believe you're a twin. I'm just going to say it. I don't fucking believe you're a twin at fucking all. I think some of you might have come out of it going, yeah, this doesn't feel right. But I'm amazed at how some twins feel that they must be in union, and how some twins feel as if they'll never be in union. Instead of just looking at your own story and saying, what is my story? Fuck what people are saying. What is my story? I love, for a while there was, there's a third wave of twins coming into union. Bullshit. Are you in union? How many of you came to union from the last time you heard the third wave of twins coming into union? And what's the excuse? And any twin flame coach that they can guarantee that you'll be in union is full of shit. Why? Well, because your twin has a free will to fucking lose. Their free will is to lose, or to win, or to come into self-realization. Your twin flame has free will. No coach can tell you, oh yeah, you'll be in union. In terms of just out of the... Now, can a tarot reader look at the energy and say, yeah, it looks good? Or no, doesn't look good at all. At all, okay? Seriously, tarot works, period, end of story. And good tarot readers are hard to find. They really are, okay? They're really hard to find. Because you've got also... The problem is that tarot readers want you to come back, and so they'll tell you what you want to hear. And that is a problem. Okay? So be careful with that. Sit in meditation, align your chakras, and connect with your higher self and their higher self. Or connect with your little girl or little boy and their little boy or little girl. And send your little child out to talk to them to see where they're at with the union. I'm not kidding. This shit works. It actually works. The concept of self-forgiveness is absolutely talked about like it's a fucking logo on a t-shirt constantly. But what does it really look like to self-forgive? And I did a video on self-forgiveness, which you can check out on my YouTube video. Sometimes self-forgiveness is neutralization. I've talked about this before. And when you look at twin flames in union, about to graduate into twin ray dynamics, right? You should be happy for them. Not jealous, not envious, happy. It should make you smile to see happy people together as a couple, embodying the power couple dynamic / the divine couple in action, in their light. And if it makes you angry, jealous, or despairing, then you're in the wrong frequency. And no offense, no wonder you're not even close to union. No wonder. No wonder. And that's the bottom line. That's the truth. And I am sorry, not sorry to say this to you, because someone's going to have to fucking put some sense into your head so that you can actually have a viable winning journey. What is a winning journey? Where you realize that the key to your happiness and peace and contentment lies in your hand, not in your twin. Your twin can't give you something you can't give yourself. And if you learn how to give that to yourself by the pure fruits of the telepathic connection and the umbilical cord that bounds you to each other, you will feed that beautiful nectar of ascension light code upgrades to your twin. That's the irony. So when you're able to do it to yourself, you're able to actually transmute that new knowledge, remote healing stuff, to your twin. That's the irony. Isn't that crazy? And at that point, you're more likely to come into union. At that point, things start accelerating to your benefit, but you don't do it because, okay, so Tony, if I do that, do I get my twin? Do you know how many times I've heard that? If I meditate, if I work on my chakras, if I do my mantras, do I get my twin? Swear to God, I've had that. People ask me that. Don't be embarrassed because you have asked me. I'm not trying to shame you on this one, because that's a normal little girl, little boy question. But if you do it for them, if you do it to get the nectar of their touch, their attention, and that's why you meditate every day. That's why you work on your chakras. This is why you do mantras every day. You do it to get them back, you're not going to win. In fact, you've lost the complete plot of the whole entire journey. The entire journey is be enough unto yourself. It is in 3D. That's it. Be enough unto yourself. Start laying the foundational groundwork for maybe the last week of your lives together, or the next conscious union behind the veils. And let that be the nectar that sustains you, but continue doing your work to yourself to be a match to this frequency. The frequency you're building, which is 5D, 6D, understanding, acceptance. And this is something that, honestly, you have to find joy in shit. Find joy in stuff. Laugh your ass off. I don't care if it's watching animal videos. I watch something silly, stupid, ridiculously, but it makes you, it catches you by surprise. When was the last time you really laughed your ass off? That's my question to you. Like, laughed until you kept watching something that made you laugh, or you remembered something between you and your twin, or you had a moment with one of your best friends, and you're playing it in your mind, or you're having that moment with your friend, or yourself, or your pet, or whatever, or a child. It's interesting how some of us were raised in cultures and countries where everything was gray, vibrationally gray. Where to be in your heart chakra was considered a weakness. Like, I'm fully aware that some of you have a fucking intense journey out of that pit that was promoted as it's just how we are. You have to be stoic. And I get it. And like that's a massive journey to come out of that and to realize, no, I want color in my life. I want laughter. I want a shimmering, magical life. But it can't be, none of that can happen for me, the shimmering magical life. It cannot happen unless I'm in union with my twin. If that's the way you're thinking on this journey, you've absolutely are assured to be miserable for this incarnation. It's a guarantee you're going to be miserable. Because if everything hinges on you and your twin being together, and I understand it, I understand that of course you desire that. But this is us having to deconstruct why can't I be alone and yet not feel lonely? Why can't I love myself and that's enough for me? Why can't I master that? And can I master that? The trauma of our separations from the time we were made, right? There was the first trauma of the split. Then the next trauma that came for all of us on a spiritual collective understanding and fear, we're fucking terrified of that, is that we fell into amnesia. We forgot each other. And we're honestly terrified of losing each other again. Like, okay, so I die, I go to the other side, I meet my twin, right? You meet your twin and you're like all happy, kumbaya, and it's such a nectar. And then you guys decide to go back into, say, even another incarnation in a higher platform, right? 5D, let's say, either in the new earth or on another planet. But there is this waiting period before you guys meet again, right? And there is going to be a knee-jerk you're going to be terrified. My God, what if we don't recognize each other? What if we do this again? What if we loop? But what you have to understand, which is interesting, is that once you're in 5D, there is no amnesia. It's not going to happen again like 3D. The 3D really kicked our asses. From here to from here to eternity, it kicked our asses. Because we had many, many incarnations where our egoic personality did some massive fuckery. While our egoic personality did some massive fuckery. While we incarnated with our twin, while we incarnated with our high-level soulmates and soulmate tribe members. Like, so it's not a surprise that is the very epicenter of fear, where even maybe some of you are afraid to articulate to yourself into the light of day, because if I say it, it'll become true. No, if you say it, okay, it becomes less painful because you can say, oh, this is what I have to master. And that's going to be your journey. If you're truly on a twin flame journey, this is going to be your journey. And it can be filled with color and laughter and joy. And sadness, sadly, right now, is part of our journey. Some of it is yours, and some of it is a pollination of other people's griefs. People taking themselves out of this incarnation, taking themselves out. People being murdered. People being driven into famine situations where they drop their bodies unwillingly. These things, if you're an empath, starseed, twin, okay, dynamic, is going to fucking be like a wind traveling around the planet, and it's going to hit you square in the solar plexus, in the root chakra, in all chakras at some point. But whatever you're most vulnerable, it will hit you there and take you out, and you won't know why. And you should know why. You should know that your pain isn't just the only pain you're actually processing. Your pain, you're actually going through other people's pain that is not yours, pain that people are going through that is that you'll never meet. People you don't even know you don't even know where they live. And this is something you have to understand. This is why they show us that we are all interconnected. And just try to understand, is this my pain? Is this actually mine? Or did I sponge this up? And then you'll be able to transmute this energy and release it back and send light, love, peace, to the souls that you know you were hit by, and you'll be able to hopefully help them let go, or whatever they need to do to move out of this incarnation into other realms that will be kind to them, loving, not judgmental at all, so that they can strip away shame, anger, and grief, and a massive sense of betrayal, because this was allowed by nefarious forces behind the veils and on this side of the fence. Our leadership, again, quote unquote leaders. Yeah, sure. So hopefully this live helped. Feel free to interact with it when I have it on YouTube. Feel free to share it with your masculine. But a divine masculine, too many people, honestly, in regarding to the men, yeah, I agree. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Yes, yes. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, connect with each other, inner child. Is that what you mean? Yep. Yep, that's what I mean. So it's the energy of let me read some of your comment. Yeah, there's a lot of men who are just posers and users. Seriously, like, if an opportunity is there, why not take it? Yep. Why twins having struggles where the masculine says they were pure of being a part of the issues. How to handle that lack of looking at the mirror. How to handle it? I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, I really don't. Listen, I can't answer that question. How do I handle telling a man who doesn't want to look at his shit? Good luck. Do what I just did on this live. What did I do? I fucking female. Why won't you look at your shit? I mean, go back to my video and listen to what I start saying. You don't think I said that to my twin? What do you think, it was just for you? For entertainment purposes? I've actually said that to my twin. To his face, in voice notes, sometimes sobbing, going, what games are you playing? What games are, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to share my personal journey. I'm not here to bandy about my business with you guys. This is something I'll eventually do as a book, and it will be something I probably, again, I'll see what my guides say, but I personally don't want to have it published until I'm gone. But my guides are saying, no, you need to. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm kicking that around because I'm very private about my personal journey. But I will say that I'm giving you kind of like ideas of what I've done, and I've actually stood in his face, and when we were in separation, in voice notes, saying, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you looking at your trauma? Because what I will say is that the masculines will drop hints. Like, you need to really, 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 really be a high priestess, okay? You really, really, really need to step into your ability to hear in silence, meaning the body language, what they say, what they don't say, half stories. Because most of the problems that many of you twins have, and I don't know, again, why this is so foreign to many of you, but okay, is that a lot of these men have been fucking really inappropriate shit happened to them sexually when they were kids. Period. That's it. Not all of them, okay? Not all of them, but many of them. Many of them. And I don't know why women don't get that. Oh, it's only us that gets brutalized. No, it's not only us. No, it's not only us. And it will show itself in different ways. Hypersexuality, which is classic, and addiction, which is another classic. It's a classic. And some twin masculines will not go into hypnotherapy. They're terrified of what they're going to see. Terrified. Every client that I'm working with right now that's a masculine has had a very hard time looking at their shit. I sent a masculine, one of my raw talks with Water Bear Medicine and the Feeling Tarot, and he texted Mac, thank you for that, I started crying. And anger rose in me, and I started crying. Thank you for sending that to me. And because what it's doing is it's literally imploding within him, hearing other masculines speaking their truth, their journey, their problems, and the collective problem that is out to fuck twins and divine couples, fuck twins, soulmates, and other type of whatever labels we want to put. And those labels right now are important because it gives us a sense of progression, kind of like someone has a PhD and someone else has a master's. We all understand what that means. It's like, fuck. Oh, well, I don't like labels. Well, dude, then in that car, how should I express this car? Because there's a difference between a Lamborghini 2024 and a fucking Toyota Corolla from the 1980s. Sorry. We live in this planet where labels, tags, adjectives, fuck, we'd be grunting. And until we get telepathically, we create a master in telepathy, we're unfortunately going to have these terms, these way of expressing details about a certain situations. Let's be honest. So it's okay. If I go and buy me potatoes, I'm not buying just any, I'm buying Yukon Gold. I'm not buying the reds. I'm trying to express what I think should be common, and you shouldn't shame yourself for labeling what you think you're experiencing. Label it, and then eventually try to, don't get stuck by it and go, well, I can't be with anyone else but my twin. See, that is the problem with saying, okay, now I know what this is, and because it's a twin, and he's treating me like shit, and he's running, and he's dishonest, and he's corrupted, and he's this, that, and the other, and I'm banking all my fucking life, my joy, my peace on him growing, and that is wrong. It's dead wrong. You're going to create massive pain. And you don't need to create massive pain. And it's totally in your hands. You decide what you want to experience in this incarnation. You decide what you want to do with this. Because if you keep thinking that it's all or nothing, it's my twin or fuck it, then you're missing the point. And is it true that some twins literally are celibate because they cannot have, popcorn sex, like stupid, non-committed, non-bonded sex? Yes, of course that happens, but that doesn't mean there isn't a beloved that can be your beloved, especially if you're young. Very, there are people that are very young, under 25, that are right now celibate because of this. And to be honest, I think they're doing massive work for the collective root chakra across the planet. But eventually that will end. And they will meet beautiful partners for a moment, for a summer, but high vibrational partners who are a match, where there's contracts being created as we speak right now for these beautiful meetings that may be for a year, two, and then it's time to split away. And maybe it does build a path towards a twin. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it builds a path towards a high-level soulmate. And that connection lasts 20, 30 years until death do you part, that kind of thing. But ultimately, with the celibacy that is going worldwide, and I did a video on that, a 60-second video. And it is something that I feel is very high vibrational right now. Quite beautiful. And what I'm also seeing, and be careful with this, is I'm seeing a lot of coaches who suddenly think they know the whole story, and they've met on TikTok, or they met 2 years ago, or no, you haven't gone through everything, my friend. Sit your ass back down. Don't coach right now. Coach about ascension, about star seeds, about that kind of work, but don't you dare coach about twins. I'm sorry, I'm calling them out. You haven't gone through many of the spectrums of what's about to happen. Because what I'm seeing also is that suddenly they break up. They break up, and they're alone. They're walking the path alone. And so they have to be careful with what they're teaching other people. And there's a caste system being built in the twin flame journey. And it's not supposed to be a caste system. It's supposed to be, you learned how to read, I'm just putting it, and now you can write your own story. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to read, how to write. Okay, got it. And now you're moving into another level of your experience. You are ascending, you are graduating, you are transmuting, right? And now you're moving into the twin ray. Why is that label important? Again, reminding you, I got my master's, now I'm getting my PhD. And you can always improve. PhD shouldn't be a ceiling, by the way. There is no ceiling. It's infinite knowledge, and you keep progressing and progressing and progressing with more and more beautiful understandings. It's infinite knowledge, and you keep progressing and progressing and progressing with more and more beautiful understandings. Hang on, let me see what you guys are saying. We got to get out of our own prisons. Yeah, absolutely correct. I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments. Hang on. Shared with some men. Oh, thank you, my love. Thank you, sweetie. Honestly, share this video with your beloved. Okay? Share this video with your beloved. And by the way, your beloved, if he's a masculine, is going to get fucking triggered at me losing it. And you know what? Good. Get triggered. And my little brother, my big brother, ask yourself, why did I trigger you when I said, what the fuck are you doing? Why did that trigger you? Why? Take responsibility. Why did me raising my voice and losing my shit trigger you? Why shouldn't I raise my voice? Why should I fucking keep a meek little, what am I fucking walking around, mincing my steps around you? No, I walk beside you, shoulder to shoulder. We are equals. That's what a power couple is. It's not, behind every great man stands a great woman. Fuck you. I stand beside you. And if there's danger, we're back to back, sword in hand, together. And when we are in Shakti Shiva energy, I am now your divine eternal consort. I am soft because we are safe. And I feel safe with you. But the Kali energy that is needed with some of these masculines, you guys are too afraid of losing your men. That's what the problem is. You're afraid. You're afraid. You actually think they're going to run away and forget your ass. You actually think they're going to run away and pick someone easy, and they're not going to be absolutely haunted by how you guys made love, how you guys spoke to each other, how it felt so good to just hold each other in each other's arms, how it was so good to just be together in the same room. What, you think that it's a one-sided reality? Come on now. You have no confidence. You actually, if that's the truth, then ask yourself, is this a twin? Because if what I'm saying is true, and it is true for twins, by the way, I'm not even going to say it's not. It's absolutely true. Then you will never be afraid of losing your twin. In fact, you'll be so fucking done. You'll go, if you don't come to me 25% better than you left me with, don't fucking come at me. I will do the energy work. I will actually transmute a lot of our blocks, but you better come to me with some integrity and some radical truth, some humility. Because if you don't, fuck you. I'll see you on the next fucking flip side of the fucking sun. Fuck off. And that, my friend, is how twin flame feminines are getting to. Many of them are going, yeah, fuck off. Love you, though. Love you. From hell and back into eternity. Love you, baby. I have enough respect for myself to wait for the next ride. The next carousel. But I'm not doing it in this fucking dimension. You can kiss my ass if you think I'm coming back into 3D to come in and save you. Not doing that again. I've grown. I'm grown. I have patience. I have peace. And I will not do this again. You figure yourself out with high-level soulmates. You want to call them karmics, soulmates. I'll watch you. I'll come in from 5D into 3D in your sleep, in your next incarnation. I will help you. I will be your guide. I will be this woman in your mind, the feminine presence, these eyes that haunt you, this memory, and you will always be haunted by me. Not because I want you to be haunted by me, but because I'm the twin on the other side trying to have you to wake up. And you will never be satisfied. You will have moments of bliss and nectar with high-level soulmates and soulmates, though you will always be feeling my perfume in your nostrils, in your sleep, when you hold her, in moments when you're in your own silence. And that's something that you guys don't believe you have that power. And if you don't, it's because it's not a twin flame. It's a high-level soulmate. It's a fucking loop. It's an obsession. It's about sex. It's about unrequited love. And you got to be honest with yourself so you don't fuck yourself out of ascending. I'm not kidding. Be honest. Is this a twin flame? Why is it a twin flame? And so on. That's why I love Sacred Sons, masculine group, because where men are vulnerable with other men. Exactly. Hang on. Why didn't this come through? I moved to another state, still love him, but not doing the work for him. Go learn with karmic. So exactly. What else am I saying? Sending lots of love and light to this space. Thank you, my love. Yes, you have to protect your energy. Well, I mean, you have to water your energy. You have to love your energy. You have to be enough unto yourself. I mean, again, you should write it down. I am enough unto myself. That should be one of your mantras. And then find out what that means to be enough unto yourself. You know what I mean? Find out. What does it mean? What does it look like? How does it feel to be enough into yourself? Is there a little pain? Is there a little jagged sense of ill ease here and there? I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, there are moments where you're like, fuck, you know, I just got it. Why is this so complicated? This could be so easy. We could be so happy. We could be so happy. We could actually do this. Why is he complicating this shit? Yeah, today we're talking about twin flame masculines. Why is he complicating something that's so easy? Why is he staying married to someone he doesn't even love? Oh, because of the kids. I can understand that. There are contracts with the soul kids, with these children. But at some point, you'll know it's time to leave. It's time to leave. I mean, sometimes these soul contracts with high-level soulmates, even with high-level soulmates, turns into sibling love, which turns into a celibate marriage. And that, you'd be shocked how many people are in a celibate marriage. Shocked. It's very common in the 21st century. And you'd be surprised. And don't think, Gen Xers, I'm shocked by this. I never thought I'd ever say this. They have less intimate connections than we did in the in my case, the late 70s, early 80s. I'm shocked. It's either over the fucking top or it's nothing at all. Or it's twisted. And it's like a twisted, gnarled, rotting piece of consciousness on the sexuality. I don't know. It's bizarre. Maybe it was always that way. I don't know. But I don't know, actually. I'm puzzled by that because I know that we got the history of these Orthodox teachings and all of these banging everyone in the head to be pure and purity connected to the root chakra. And all of that bullshit. But I'm certainly not saying go out there and be a wild woman or wild man. I'm saying that when a twin meets a twin and they become lovers, I can guarantee they're never going to have that kind of sex with anyone ever again. Unless they're taking some illicit shit. And, if you get my drift, wink, wink. And I don't mean that in a fun way. And they are, but if it's pure tantric connection, they will never, ever have the nectar that they have with you. Never. Never replication. It will never be replicated. Okay? And that is a truth that is absolutely understood by high twin flames. I'm going to say it like that so you guys understand. Yes, again, we're putting not a hierarchy, but an understanding of some people who are in this journey who understand at a higher level of clarity. Okay, let's put it that way. And twin rays, they understand that. They absolutely understand that. And there's a lot of confusion. And let me just say, I'm seeing too many coaches who are coaching, who are not speaking from their heart. I know for a fact. Again, watch my video from the beginning. They're not. They're scripting everything. And if you're scripting everything, then you're not living this journey, because it should be fucking rolling out of your mouth like nothing. Or you're not transmuting the energy from the higher realms. You're not channeling. You're not downloading. You're not. Do you understand? And what's interesting is when I talk to my twin ray Doc Holidays, the way I'm talking to you, imagine 3 women talking like that, or we're going back and forth like at a speed of light. We never talk about bullshit. We're constantly talking about this, ascension, the infrastructure, and it goes at this pace. Because truth is truth, passion is passion, and clarity is clarity, and channeling is channeling, downloading, speaking, fucking insane. We're constantly interrupting each other, but not because we're disrespecting each other, because we're like excited about what we're discovering together. There's a lot of weird ass rules that have been put into play by I don't know who. I really actually don't know who. About how conversations should be had. Like again, the one I brought up a couple days ago on you can't talk about religion and politics at the dinner table. Like that one, I talked to. Please go watch my video on forgiveness, because that one, for me personally, was like it was really an important one to have. This discussion about forgiveness and dialoguing and what's appropriate. Appropriate? Fucking nothing's inappropriate. Nothing. As long as you're not cruel to anyone, you're good to go. Cruelty is a no-no. That's it. That's the only thing you shouldn't talk about at the dinner table. About being cruel to someone else, bullying someone else, shaming someone else. Yeah, that's the only thing you shouldn't talk about at the dinner table. About being cruel to someone else, bullying someone else, shaming someone else. Yeah, that's not okay. But anything else is about excavating truth. And that should be a yes, yes. Dinner table, cocktail, hour, Sunday dinner, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm going to thank you again for being here. This will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. And I want to thank you so much for being who you are and having the patience and the desire to listen to what I have to say. Hopefully it helped. I moved to another. Oh, yeah, I read that again. Anyway, okay. Love you so much, all of you. And I love you because you want to learn. And I love you because you're willing to hash out shit with me. And you may not agree with anything I say, much less little, maybe nothing. But as long as it creates a triggering effect that has you thinking about creating something new, something you originate out of all my dialogue, other coaches' dialogue, and try to see what is your truth, what is your journey, and why are you going through what you're going through, and what is the greater good. Thank you. Haven't been able to see your lives lately. Needed this. Well, good. You missed a lot of it, I think. So I'm going to upload that to my YouTube in a couple hours, and you'll be able to see it. And share it with your masculines if you can. Don't be afraid to lose your masculine, even if it's for a couple years. I'm not being funny. Because you have nothing to lose. Because if that man can't fucking see your worth, if that man can't see what this soul bond is, if he's still in the 3D whirlpool of bullshit, and he's still playing small fucking games and trying to be a billionaire or $100 million man, or he sees his worth and how much money he has in an account and how many bitches like his photo, and shit like that, you have nothing to lose. I mean, I'm sorry. You have nothing to lose. Men like that are a dime a dozen, twin or not, dime a dozen. Men with a low consciousness like that, fucking a dime a dozen. So many of them. Take your pick. Redhead, brown hair, black skin, white skin, red skin, whatever skin, blue skin. They're all out there. Go ahead, find one. They're a dime a dozen. What you need to do is understand that your twin flame masculine has to grow up, grow into his power, grow into his masculine shamanic power to be good for himself, enough unto himself, so he can be good for you. And he will demand from you to be better for him. I'm going to tell you a story before I let you go, because my phone's turning red and I need to go. But I had a client that came to me. This is like 4 years ago. She came to me saying, "Oh yeah, my masculine, he's a twin flame." Confirmed it. Yeah, I confirmed it. Yeah, sure enough. And she said, he told me that he was going to block me, she said, because he said that I wasn't ready. And she was expecting me to agree with her. Guess what? He was correct. She wasn't ready. Why? Well, because she was still living in that triplex apartment in New York City with her 2 kids, with her husband, in separate bedrooms, and was staying there for the money. And her divine masculine, who was a divine masculine, she was not a divine feminine, I'm just going to say it, obviously, was saying, when you're ready, I will know, and I will open my channels, and we will meet again when you're ready. And why isn't she ready? Because she wants the trappings. She wants the money, the Birkin bags, the Sephora shopping moments of dropping $1,500, that kind of shit. He's right. And I said to her, he's correct. Did she like me after that? No. Did I explain to her why, like I just did with you? Yes, I did. More gently, obviously, but I have to make a point here in this live. So I'm going to be raw with you, but I wasn't raw with her. I was gentle, saying, actually, he's correct. My God, he's a divine masculine. Wow. And then I started doing a reading on his consciousness. He was a highly evolved masculine. That's it. That's all I got to say on that. What else am I going to say? I can't add to that. That's brilliant. So, will she be ready in this incarnation? I don't know. Maybe it'll be another 10 years. Maybe he'll drop his body. And it'll be too late in this incarnation, but it's certainly not too late to build the road to them coming to union in a higher level of consciousness, but she has to get there. And that's the entire truth. And it made her feel as if she was going to collapse. But collapse for what? Choose. You want the triple X apartment? You want the shopping trips? You want the trips across the world? You want the vacations? You want the trappings? Or do you want love? Divine love. Where, ironically, you guys would actually manifest magic, abundance. Maybe not to that level, but certainly to levels that would be beautiful. More than enough. But her fear and her avarice, okay? I'm just going to say, beautiful woman, beautiful soul, but a soul filled with fear and desires that were material. There you go. That's not a match. Period. End of story. It's not a match. Not a match. So it's not unusual for 2 twins. Match. Not a match. So it's not unusual for 2 twins. To come in, my love, sending you much love on your journey. Thank you for being here. And again, blessings and power to you all. Be a shaman. Namaste. Be well.